Hello, this is Terry Blava with the Missouri State Library. This tutorial covers the basic functions of the Circular Area Profile System on the census.missouri.edu website. This tool was developed by John Blodgett at the Missouri Census Data Center and delivers data in concentric rings from a defined point assigned by the user. There are two versions available: CAPS 10C, which provides demographic data from the 2010 decennial census, and the CAPS ACS version, which uses data from the American Community Survey. Both versions work in the same manner, but for purposes of this video I will use the ACS version. Both versions of CAPS can be accessed by going to the census.missouri.edu website and clicking on the Circular Area Profiles link on the right side under the black geographic heading. When this page opens, you'll notice it opens in the ACS version. If you would like the CAPS 10C version, you can click on the CAPS 10C link in the center of the sentence following the description of the program. To change back to the CAPS ACS version, simply click on the CAPS ACS version link at the top of the page. Information on how to use the application and interpret the results are located under the usage notes near the top of the page. To get started, we will need to establish the area from which we want to find data. There are three ways to set this point. The first method is to use latitude and longitude coordinates, the second is using zip codes and zip code tabulation areas, and the third is to use a street address. If you know the latitude and longitude coordinates, or the zip code you wish to measure from, you may enter these in the appropriate boxes. Otherwise, you can use the Google Maps link in the green box in the center of the screen. When this link is selected, it will open a new window with a plus sign centered on Missouri. The current position of the plus sign is listed in the lower right corner of the window. The map can be moved by using the plus and minus buttons in the lower right corner of the map and by using the left mouse button to drag the map. For illustration purposes, I'm going to drag the map holding down the left mouse button and position the plus sign over Springfield, Missouri. Once I position the map so the plus sign is over or near the desired location, I release the button. To precisely pinpoint a location, I will now use the plus button on the lower right corner of the map to zoom in. You will zoom in until you get to the desired detail and then drag the map to the point the plus sign is over your desired position. Google Maps allows you to zoom in enough to see specific buildings. For this example, I have put the plus sign on the Midtown Carnegie branch of the Springfield Greene County Library as my central point, and the current position is listed near the middle of this building. The coordinates will pre-populate into CAPS from the Google Maps pop-up window if you click the Close button in the bottom right corner. You can also copy and paste the coordinates from Google Maps into the CAPS program. Another option is to use a known address in the Google Maps pop-up window. To use this option, click on the green Google Maps button. When the window opens, you will see a blank field in the lower left corner of the window. This is where you would enter a specific address. For this example, I will enter the address for the Landers State Office Building in Springfield. Once I finish entering the address, I will click the Look Up Address button to the right of the address field. Google Maps will zoom into the address and the coordinates will be listed as the current position. To place the coordinates into the CAPS program, Either click the Close button in the lower right corner or cut and paste them into the appropriate blanks. The third blank on the screen allows you to set a name for your report. This name will appear at the top of your outputs. It is optional to enter the name or description. The fourth blank sets the radius distances from your specified point. While the program will generate data for distances less than 3 miles, the data may be unreliable since the ACS is based on estimates from sampled responses from a given area. If you need data for areas between a 1 and 3 mile radius, the CAPS 10C program would be better since it is based on the decennial census count. For illustrative purposes, I will use 3, 7, and 11 miles as our radius values. These will be entered without commas but separated by spaces. Please also note the values need to appear in ascending order. If you're using radius values that overlap state boundaries, you can select a state in the next box to limit your results to one state or a specific group of states. Multiple states can be selected by holding down the Control button and left-clicking on each additional state. If you're using smaller radius values within a given state, no state needs to be selected. The default options for the demographic, economic, social, and housing data are selected and thereby included in the report when it is generated. To remove one or more of these profiles from the report, click on the check mark. Like the demographic profiles, the county populations are included in the report by default. To remove these from the report, click on the check mark. To add geographic units or places to the report, click on the empty square to add a check mark. At this point, you have set all the parameters and you are ready to generate your report. Click on the Generate Report button in the center bottom of the screen. The reports will appear in ascending order and will contain all the information selected. To change a variable within the report, click on the back arrow in your browser, make the changes, and generate the new report. The data in the reports will contain the demographic variables and geographic units selected, and each radius value will have a separate report. If you have questions on how to use the CAPS program, please contact John Blodgett at OCEDA or Terry Blauvelt at the Missouri State Library at the numbers shown on the screen.